We start the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My brothers and sisters, I need you to open your third eye for a second and just walk with me. Walk with me. Like, this is a podcast about video games, right? And in video games, you know what I'm saying? When you think about, games, there ain't really no game how the United States has treated our people. When you think about certain things, this is episode 57. Look deeper, look deeper. Episode 57. 5 plus 7 equals 12. And that's one away from 13. And a video game has organization 13 as an antagonist. When you think about organizations, how many organizations the United States set up to have the downfall of the black man and the black woman in America? Okay, I'm kidding you. Welcome to episode 57 of No Cooldown Podcast. My bad. Let me take off the head. I channeled too much energy right there. Hold on. What's good, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well on this fine day. Welcome back to No Cooldown. Hope you guys are doing well. I am ThatManTripp, not the Hotep. That's another session. That's another day. But we are here for another episode, hot off the heels of some events that happened this week. A lot of different news. I'm here with podcast partners in crime. First and foremost, WenEazy is in the building. What's going on, dog?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Living the dream.
Hey, man, gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. And also flanked alongside me, we have Kxngviii. I who have gotten taller, darker shaded, more built, and has a stronger beard. I don't know what happened in the interim when I last saw King. I don't know what transformation machine he went into, but it's great. Nah, I'm joking, y'all. Negus is in the building, the Negus Corner. Negus has joined us as a stand-in for King this week because he was a little bit short because work called him up, but it's all good. We got him in the building. Negus, what is going on, sir?
Yo, what's good, man? Chilling, man. A lot been going on. Glad to be joining you guys.
Yes, finally. This is an unofficial thing. We're going to officially have him on the podcast one of these days for a full interview breakdown and stuff. But this is a nice little last minute call. So we appreciate Negus coming through and gracing the podcast. You know what I'm saying? All this nice energy is here. And you can use some of the energy yourself to rate this podcast 5 stars. Go on Apple Podcasts. Go on Spotify. Go rate us 5 stars. Just search No Cooldown. We'll be right there. We're also available on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and we're also available the video versions on Spotify as well as youtube.com/@NoCooldown. A lot of stories to get through this week. You know what I'm saying? Some couple of juicy things. I ain't gonna lie, a couple of juicy things. But without further ado, are y'all ready to get into it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Without further ado, man, let's start with a couple of warm-up stories. First and foremost, a new Apex board game just kind of spawned out of nowhere. Like, I don't know if y'all saw it this week, and it was like, okay, EA talking about like, oh yeah, this new board game's coming through, blah blah blah. But the kicker about this was that a Kickstarter was happening, and it's being developed by a third party. So it's basically the game it's commissioned and it's being there, but they need a Kickstarter to get the project going. And the third party is Glass Cannon Unplugged. So I was just confused at the whole entire rollout when EA's, I guess sanctioning this, and they're not paying for it. I was confused. What y'all think about this?
It just seems like EA said, "Hey, we're not gonna sue you." That's kind of the amount of money they put into it. It's like, we're not gonna tell our lawyers to shut this down, but they definitely said we don't, because EA is a very small indie developer. They don't have a lot of money or a lot of facilities, so they can't afford to give these people who are making a board game money. So the best they could do is not, give them legal action.
Son,
bro, I say all the time that like EA has to be like one of the most evil companies like on the face of the planet. Like, genuinely, I really believe that there are rain clouds and like thunder clouds on like over the building, because like I can really see EA being like, yo, we want a board game, but we're not gonna pay for it.
That's
like
crazy.
For real. Like,
That's
I
crazy.
can actually see them doing that.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. They go into Glass Cannon Unplugged, the third party developer, like, yo, listen, the exposure you guys are gonna get from being the official Apex board game is gonna be crazy. The exposure is gonna be wild, man. Y'all got to get in there. Like, okay, that's great. So how much you guys gonna give us for a budget? So we set up this link for y'all to go
We'll tweet
Like,
about it.
like, so what?
I can't stand this company.
Yo, EA is they wild, but they're so wild boys, bro. They might be the 50 Cent of gaming with this level of audacity, just on the audacity scale. Because this is crazy. How you gonna tell a small 30-party studio like, hey, yo, I got it. Yeah, you'll get it.
Because I get it's a Kickstarter, but like I feel like somebody would have like at least like, do you guys know if this was a game before? Like people were talking about it before? Because it seems like it came out of nowhere and EA actually like wanted to do it. It was just like, we really just don't have a budget, so like, nah.
Nah,
That's basically what I think it is. I think they literally were just like, we can tweet about it and we will let you make it and not sue you. That is as much as we're gonna give you.
Yep, and like literally, I'm just like,
We'll even give you
they
the
just popped
Apex.
up, like,
We'll give you the Apex font to put on it too. So, so you guys, we'll give you the media assets
just
you
enough,
need.
just enough. You know what I'm saying? Just enough to not make us like destroy you. They might forget about they even like had this agreement in place and still might countersue them or something like that. Like this is the EA, bro. Out of all the things, I don't, bro. EA is such a very, very funny company with how they operate, bro. Like you put somebody else mentioned this too. Shout out to DX from YT's Discord because I'm in there chilling and somebody in there pointed out. He's like, yo, so how does the Dead Space collaboration with Fortnite happen, but then they don't put anything Dead Space in Apex Legends? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just little things like that. Like how is EA so backwards? You could have easily put your own promo stuff into your own popular games and made your own ecosystem, but nah, you was just like, let's just go there, and then we want a board game. We're just not gonna pay for it and see what they do. It's just backwards. This is backwards. I don't know what they on, bro. They gotta fix up, bro. But anyways, moving on to the next warm-up story here. I don't know if y'all caught it, but there was some footage of Street Fighter, and no, not the footage of Street Fighter from earlier today, not Street Fighter 6, but Street Fighter in VR, as Capcom is set to release a full VR experience in Japan and some assorted arcades in a few areas within the the next couple of months, probably. I would say it's a fair estimate of it, but yeah, it looked interesting. It was a whole lot of like, Zangief doing tornadoes at you and you had to like dodge and dip and stuff. You still got power bomb. Looked very traumatic, but what y'all make of it?
I've been in enough VR street fights IRL, so I don't think I really need I don't need to pay for the you spend a couple of days in Philly, I promise you'll get power bombed. Don't worry about it.
That's as real as it gets, bro. Ain't no second round neither. I was about to say, I was looking at him like, that's cool, but I don't want to see Zangief chest hair in my face while I'm getting like nausea. Like that's actually a very traumatic experience when you think about it. Like that's very bad. You sitting there, you run into a wall because Zangief powerbombed me. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Now you got a bust hole in the wall. Zangief is traumatizing you. You got PTSD from playing Street Fighter. You might not play Street Fighter 6. It's a downhill slope from there. For those who try it, please do it in a safe environment. So I hope these arcades got the proper, constraints around it to let it run. But I mean, it seems cool.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. As soon as Zangief grabs me and starts like, twirling me around, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like play that anymore. So I'm kind of good. Like I watched it and I saw like myself like, just losing everything in my stomach. So I'm very good on that. But that looks like a dope idea.
That's
for
crazy.
those that want to pay for it.
As soon as you grapple, you gonna start swinging on somebody. You about to snuff somebody in real life. Like, oh,
bro, I'm just gonna fall on the ground. Like
I quit.
Motion sickness.
Oh man,
You might actually knock me out.
That's insane, bro. That's insane. But shout out Street Fighter VR. Moving on here to this next story. Legendary video game developer and studio head of Tango Gameworks, Shinji Mikami, has officially left the company. So the creative mind behind a lot of games like Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, Beautiful Joe, The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, and of course Hi-Fi Rush as of late has decided to step away from the Bethesda affiliated studio. Now, we got some indication that he had a really light involvement with the production of Hi-Fi Rush. So he was basically only overseeing the project and just kind of letting the younger generation in his department shine. And before he kind of just took off to his next adventure or retirement or whatever may be in his future. So thoughts on Mikami leaving Tango?
That's tough, Bethesda. That's tough for y'all. That's real. That's 3 games. I didn't even know Ghostwire Tokyo was involved with Bethesda. I wasn't keeping too many tabs on it, but I heard really good things about those games. The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush, and he was involved in all 3 of like arguably the best recent games Bethesda has had to offer.
He's he cooking.
Yeah,
He
no,
cooking.
he's cooking.
He's
Bethesda,
been
y'all.
cooking for 30-40 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad for it's quiet for Bethesda.
Honestly, given the last bit of information though, I'm not that mad at it because he was like, yo, I was super hands off with this stuff. I was just kind of overseeing and tidying things at the back. So it's like, yo, he really believes in the development team that he left behind. And I'm like, but that's just a publisher, you know what I'm saying? I try and look at least the situation of the development team themselves. And if Mikami has that much trust to really be that hands off, that laissez-faire with Hi-Fi Rush, and it came out the way it came out, that's fine by me. If he's gonna, if he was like, the man literally had an Oogway moment. He was like, "Yo, listen, it is my time," and just dipped. He was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like that seems like a logical conclusion to me. And he's letting the young people shine. So to be real, this could be just kind of like a move that doesn't really hurt Tango in the slightest. They could just be there because we've said this. It could not, but I think it might not just because of how the comics came out about Hi-Fi Rush. And we've said this beforehand a few episodes ago. Like Tango has been one of the most versatile studios I've possibly seen in the last decade. Like they've switched genres so much, they've jumped from project to project. And when you see Mikami's resume, it makes sense why they have that. So if he instilled enough in that young development team, they could really do anything, and they could have a fair shot at making it great. So I'm not as fearful about that stuff. But Mikami been putting in work from literally like, again, he says career started in 1990, bruh. His first director job was Resident Evil 1. Like he's literally him. He's one of them ones. Like his name should definitely be up in the Raptors when it's all said and done. But shout outs to Mikami, man. All right. Last but not least in the warm up here, Will Smith, guys. Will Smith. He's been working double shifts since he slapped fire out of Chris Rock, man. He got in touch with Tencent for a brand new marketing campaign for the new open world survival game entitled Undawn, which seems like a run-of-the-mill open world survival joint with the base building and all that zombie surviving stuff. So, I mean, what did you guys make of this campaign run for William Smith?
Sure, Will. Like, hey.
Yeah.
He will get the bag. That's for sure. That's as much as I can like, okay.
Basically.
I'm not playing it, but I hope the best. I hope for the best.
Son, we needed Will Smith in Arc 2. I don't know how he's doing these random ass 10-cent jobs, bro. Why do we? I'm not even gonna speak bad on Vin Diesel name, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Will Smith could have did something. He could have did something different. I don't know. He still got the Aladdin beard. It's a whole lot of mixed variables I'm getting from this, bro. The Oscars need to just let him back in, bro. He's done his time, guys. He's done his time.
He's done more time than most people in the
most people.
Wronged most the Oscars.
Shoot. And yeah, they tripping, bro. But Will Smith, get your bag and get out of there, bro. That's all I gotta say on that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't maybe put this back on, but I see you. I see you. Anyways, moving on to the main stories here. Let's start off with the Sony State of Play, hot off the presses of this PlayStation State of Play for spring. Literally quite literally pulled a fast one on us and just kind of said it on Tuesday. Hey guys, we're back again, dropping some shit. Check in. And of course, people are going to check in. So they dropped a bunch of new stuff, just kind of going through the gamut here. 5 brand new PSVR games. A game called Humanity, which is kind of like a super like spirit dog puzzle type game. We got more information on Tachia, including the release date of March 24th. A brand new game that we got shown off called Goodbye Volcano High, coming June 15th. A brand new Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections trailer. Wayfinder, which is like an action RPG, felt really like not necessarily Monster Hunter, but just like pure action RPG fighting against huge bosses type of thing. Destiny 2 Lightfall trailer ahead of its release. Another Resident Evil 4 remake trailer. Baldur's Gate 3 with an August 31st release date reveal and some more gameplay. And Street Fighter 6 with the Zangief Lily camera reveal and extended Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League gameplay. So what did we make of this state of play, y'all? That sums it up. I hear it.
To be honest, you already know I'm not the biggest Sony person. So like, to be real, I watched it. I was like, cool. The biggest thing for me was like I saw the Naruto times Boruto, but like, yeah, I still don't have a PS5. Like I've been looking towards it. Like I still don't got one. Like
it's fair. That's fair.
It's just such a conflicting like like thing for me because it's like half of it was VR. I'm never buying a VR headset from
Nope.
PlayStation. I just don't see the purpose in it unless they let me use it on my PC. I'm not buying a VR headset for one console. Especially since the VR headset is actually more expensive than the actual PlayStation. It makes no sense.
Wait, what?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that
is.
price point is
It is
crazy.
actually more expensive than the PlayStation 5 itself. On top of
Gaming
that,
is insanely unaffordable.
no,
What?
gaming is
This
cooked.
is literally a ridiculously priced pastime.
It
It's
is
ridiculously priced.
it is a luxury to say the least.
Wow.
Um, and like, but the thing is, like, the cool things that they announced, I was really hyped for. Big hype for for Street Fighter. Every time they say Street Fighter, they don't even have to show anything. I just gotta look at it and be like, whoa, this is awesome. Like Destiny's
That
trailer
was
was
fun. Yeah.
sick. Resident Evil 4 looked really, really good. But then you have like half of it being VR, and like Humanity looked cool, but it didn't look crazy. It wasn't gonna blow me away. The Naruto thing was pretty hype. I will say that the Naruto
Yeah.
thing was pretty sick because I've been trying to play the Ninja Storm games, but I'm not a big fan of the first one and how it's played or how you have to play it.
Mm.
So like it all being in one umbrella in one game, like even if this game is $100, if it includes all of the content from all 5 or 4 Naruto games, I'm happy with that. Like that is a really good collection. That's my biggest concern is like how much of this game is going to have all the stuff from the other games.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but all together, it was a pretty okay reveal. Suicide Squad is looking super above average. That's kind of the vibe I was getting from it. Was like,
Above average?
yeah, it's
Not beyond. I'm gonna be real with you.
go
I
for it.
like. I'm a huge fan of the Arkham series. Like I love the Arkham series. Like those are some of my favorite games. And I saw that and I'm like, yo, it's the Suicide Squad. Like even I look forward for even like the movies about them, stuff like that. There's so much you could do with that. And I don't know, just like not even a rail gun, but like a movement shooter type esque like even if it was PvE and it was like it had more like what we know from them as like combat, I would have loved it. I would have been like, yo, this is absolutely insane. You have the Justice League, like they've gone evil. So I know it's gonna be some fun to it because it like I don't think it's gonna be a bad story or anything like that. But
Yeah. I think the best quality of it will be the story because they have so much to work with, especially in the Arkhamverse.
right,
So
yeah,
I'm not gonna be mad at how the characters are
like that
performed.
was cool by the way
Yeah,
when they show Wonder Woman.
the character
That was
performances and all
cool.
that stuff like that. I actually really enjoy from top to bottom so far. Like I think all of that fits. I think all of that is good. And I didn't even know Samoa Joe was in there. Like shout out to Samoa Joe. That's a real G right there. I didn't know half of the things was like happening. But in terms of character performance, story progression, all that stuff, I have no worries about that because we've been here
Yeah.
before in that loop. I think they know what they're doing. It's just the gameplay. I like most of it, but this is the thing for me. This is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
With the verticality and with the breadth of the environments that you fight in, I feel like you got to have more of a variation in what you're doing. Because what we saw from the snippet, they showed us this again. We're not speculating. They showed us this just now. It was like, okay, 3 enemies are up top. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like a couple enemies over there on this further platform. And it felt really sparse. I think that's the word I want to use, sparse.
Mm.
With the trailers and stuff that we've shown so far, and again, it's not nothing to wholly judge by. The vibe that I kind of wanted was more like chaos, literally chaos. Like, okay, there's a horde of enemies you have to fight down here. Like, not necessarily Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide, not, but in kind of in that similar frame where it's like the volume of people that you fight kind of creates that sense of urgency. Like, oh, I gotta move from this. I'm forced to move. I have to use my movement at all times. Like, it felt like in the trailer at points, it's like sometimes, yeah, you could use it to get up there, but some of it felt superfluous. It felt like unnecessary. It's like, okay, you didn't really have to do all that swinging and stuff to get to that one platform. You could just shot him way over here. In these types of games, I want urgency. Like if it's a Borderlands, like there's gonna be certain parts of Borderlands series like where it forced you to be like move in certain ways, or else he was gonna get cooked. I feel like just because how enemies are laid out and stuff. But for Kill the Justice League, I just want more chaos in a sense. And I think that could justify how the movement system is. You know, there's other things I looked at and I was like, it could be a little bit of a warning sign. I don't know how I feel about some of the, like just actually the act of like killing enemies or destroying enemies, it felt like okay, just like couple clips and then gone. I don't know if it felt like as punchy as I thought it would be. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, win. But that so far those are the gripes that I've been seeing.
Man, man, man. As somebody who is an owner of Gotham Knights, this is
Mm.
this is really funny to me. Like I just think that this because a lot of people were saying like, "Yo, Gotham Knights isn't the true blue Arkham sequel. Can't wait for Suicide Squad to show you guys how a DC game is made." I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of it looked like flashy pointlessness. If I'm being real, like there are times where like I'm seeing like Deadshot scope in on a monster like across on top of this building, and I'm like, what's the point of that though? Like, why are you killing that one monster all the way over there? What's the
Right.
what is the objective? Like, I don't really know. It just looked like a lot of flash. It looked like a lot of like showing me traversal. Cool. I'm seeing a lot of traversal, but what's stopping me from like what happens when I land at the place that I'm going to? Like after I traverse and I get to where I'm going, what's keeping me here? Is it
I,
the one button press of the boomerang and I get to do like this cool thing where I've hit a bunch of people at once? Awesome, but it's a one button thing. Like it's not anything
Yeah, it's not
crazy.
active. It's not
Now,
active.
this could be easily fixed with really hard enemies. Like maybe they're showing us in like
that's
easy
true.
mode or
Yeah.
whatever. Like that could
Mm.
possibly be what it is. But as of right now, from what I've seen, this game looks about what we would expect in 2023. Like
Yeah.
a regular like shoot 'em up, very generic kind of thing. It's gonna have
Yeah.
flavor because they put Harley Quinn's skin on the character. But if you would have showed me this with no DC attachment and been like, this is Crackdown 4, I'd have been like, oh yeah, this looks like
Yeah.
Crackdown.
Right.
Like this looks like
Yeah.
fighting aliens or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's just
And
cool.
Rip Crackdown, by the way, Rip Crackdown. I
Yeah,
ain't gonna
like
lie.
it's
So
awesome, bro. Like this wasn't even the best. This had the most time on the event, and it wasn't even the best showing, the best game being showed here. Like I feel like the
well,
Naruto game had more impact on me than Kill the Justice League or even Street
yeah.
Fighter. And all Street Fighter did was show me a couple moves and a couple like engagements, and it already
Facts.
showed me like more
True.
depth into that game than this
Yeah.
game. And it's
Resident Evil 2. I ain't
yeah,
gonna lie.
Resident Evil actually.
I don't
That is
care.
a perfect example.
Resident Evil showed me enough. It showed me enough of new stuff. It showed me enough of what you're gonna bring back. Like again, I almost lost my shit when I saw Krauser. So that's just me. That's my personal thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think there was enough of there of similar, but also showed you a lot of new stuff. Again, like with the Krauser fight, they said there's no QTE. So that's all active hand. That's actively fighting and not just pressing a button in a QTE and you're uninvolved in the sequence. You're actively involved in fighting him. And that's the level of, I guess, depth that's required in the gameplay experience now. And it's like, okay, if we can just get that one little button skill and that's it, I don't feel as involved. You know what I'm saying? I see that's the gripe that you're trying to make with what we saw from what's it called, Suicide Squad, and it makes sense. It makes sense, and I understand it. It's just like it could be how they showed it. It could be the difficulty spike. It could be the lack of enemies in the area. I just wanted to see how you can be more urgent with this stuff, because if you come in, it's only like a couple of enemies. It's like a empty ass auditorium, like a couple people, like after like some AA meeting or some shit like that. You just clear out and that's it. There's no urgency. There's no excitement to it. But if there's like, oh, a bunch of enemies on the ground and it's a bunch of enemies actively hunting you down in the air, something like that, like flying around, actively harassing y'all, like then it's more lively. I missed it being more lively. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have saved some of the space for a Batman game, and even then, like I know we were talking
Yes.
about, I know we were talking about kind of like them being more grounded, not necessarily in like not just like character, but literally like on the ground floor and being more combat heavy with some of the stuff that they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that would have changed the game dramatically, in my opinion. And you just have to substantiate what they're doing with, again, the environment that they're in. If there's only like a few enemies here and there, I feel like the usage of the traversal system isn't gonna be as like not useful or looking forward to, like, okay, I got to do all this stuff to hit like one person on a roof. Okay, but if there's like 50 people on a roof, I'm going to get my ass up there. Or if people are swarming me on the ground floor, I'm going to use the traversal system to get out of there. It's just the liveliness and urgency in the system that I
Right.
think that's missing from what we saw.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's crazy. But yeah, the rest of the stuff in the presentation was cool. The Tachia stuff looks like a pretty cool exploration game. That looks pretty cool. Shout out to the what do you call them? The scaly game.
Mhm.
It's scaling.
Nah, you're not getting me in trouble. It's all right.
I didn't say who. I'm just saying somebody
Try to
said
get me in
scaly,
trouble.
bro.
Nah, no. No beef. Do what you want to do. Wear your Chuck E. Cheese costumes. Leave me alone.
Shout out to Good 5 Kato High.
Nah, that game was like definitely like out, like just so random because it looked good.
It was very out of the blue. Though. Honestly, I was like, it was very unexpected. Like you could do Photoshop in the game. Like it was very like it's super slice of life, but I just didn't expect it in that lineup. Honestly.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah. That was cool. Wayfinder looked pretty bog standard. I wasn't really interested in Wayfinder, honestly. I was like, eh. Lightfall DLC looks pretty cool. I can't even front. Like that
just bought it this morning.
The main op looks actually insane. I ain't gonna lie. And I haven't been tapped into Destiny like that pretty much ever. The first Destiny DLC is when I fell off hard. But this looks like actually really engaging. So shout out to the Destiny people about to eat off that. Baldur's Gate 3 looked actually really, really good. I ain't gonna lie. If I wasn't tapped in before, I'm like, okay, let me really start looking at what Baldur 3 has to offer for this year because that actually looked really dope. We already talked about Resident Evil 4 remake, but that's all I gotta say. And yeah, overall, what y'all rate that out of like a letter grade scale? How y'all feel about it?
Like a C plus, maybe.
I was gonna say C plus,
B,
hard C,
B minus.
I was gonna say hard C plus. Honestly, C plus. I was gonna say like we can keep it C plus, but I was gonna say hard. You're not making it to a B in my opinion.
You can't.
Resident Evil we have seen before, even though the new gameplay looked good. Street Fighter 6 we have seen before, even though those new characters came through. Shout out to them. But you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a completely brand new game, and the brand new things we saw were decent. But then the whole Suicide Squad thing, I feel like it wasn't the best showing that you could have. This could be a situation where it's like Sonic Frontiers, and we got the wrong people to debut the stuff at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? It could be that type of situation.
No,
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is.
No.
But I'm just saying it's like in this showing, it just wasn't showing the best light. Bottom line, it just didn't look. It didn't look like what we expected. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look like what I expected.
If Rocksteady went to PlayStation.
Fact.
PlayStation
to drop their own thing. You're right. You're right.
Be like,
yo,
let us be the closer for your announcement. And this is the best the game will be. Like, I don't think it'll get better than what we saw. Like you don't take this to PlayStation and say, we're still very far away. IGN I could see because IGN's like, oh yeah, we'll get those clicks. Let's slap that on there. Like PlayStation will turn you away if you showed like the Sonic footage at IGN, like that IGN had in a PlayStation event. They would be like, no, we're not showing this.
The frames were dropping on one of them games, bro. I can't remember which one it was. It was during
Wayfinder. I think
it was one.
I think it was Wayfinder. I think you're talking about running 20 FPS. That is crazy. I'm about to say, yeah, that one. But yeah, I'd say a C plus then. I say a C plus is pretty fair for the entire thing so far. They don't be doing shit until like summer. They don't, and then when there's other events there, they won't show shit there. But then they'll show shit at their stuff. They'll be like, yeah, we're showing up to their events, guys. Yeah, for sure. Bullshit. And they get to their event the next day, they drop heat. And then they'll get to the end of the year, Game Awards season. They'll drop at least one big thing for Game Awards, and then they'll have their own thing in like October or something like that, and they'll drop heat. So I feel like the spring ones are always moot. I ain't gonna lie. The spring ones are always like, eh.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. We're gonna move on to the next thing here. I know at this point, at least one person on this podcast has played Like a Dragon Ishin, but it has officially dropped, and I wanted to lock in and get impression. So I mean, when you know what I'm saying, it's obvious at this point who the person is. But I just wanted to get your take on how Like a Dragon Ishin has been playing for you, what you thought about it. How's it going?
All right. So if it wasn't made by this company, I would not be a fan of it right now. But because it has the characters that I love so much and it has like the style and the flair, it's really like the story is super engaging. I'm tapped all the way in. It's crazy. Then I start playing the game and I get a 6-shooter that doesn't have any reload animation. So I'm just literally blasting away. Like it feels so goofy and silly. The combat is very like whatever. Like I'm not taking it super serious, but I'm having a blast. It's honestly, it's a good game. It is one of the times where like I think IGN gave it like a 7. And at first I was like, yo, IGN is smoking dope, bro. They're such haters. And then I played it and I'm like, Nah, it's about a 7.5 if you ask me, but it's not like it's not crazy, but like 7 a little bit too low. But nah, it's a really good engaging game though. If you're a big fan of Like a Dragons, I definitely recommend it. I'm a huge fan of this franchise, so like I'm tapped all the way, and I'm having a blast. Like don't get it twisted, I'm having a lot of fun. But if you're somebody who's like looking for the next expansive, most amazing like action RPG or whatever, like nah, bro, just skip it. But honestly, good game. Definitely could recommend it.
Where again, I was watching you play it. Literally, you had the 6-shooter for like 5 minutes straight,
Just
blast everybody in the
blasting,
house.
bro. No
Man, I was running
stop.
through like this. He was running through like this for like 5 minutes
And
straight.
they-
I'm like, dang, no sword, no hands, no nothing. Just
They
straight.
keep calling me a samurai, but I'm using the gun, bro. I don't need a sword.
So that era is dead, baby. It's dead. That's crazy. But yeah, nah, it looked like I think you said this on your stream too. It looked like older school.
It felt like one of the older
Yakuza. Yeah, like it felt like the Yakuza old generation type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Like I think they switched engines when they made the Kiwami games, and I feel like this game feels more like Yakuza 0 or Yakuza Kiwami 1. And like when they made the new engine, which is for the turn-based game, which is the new Like a Dragon, I feel like you can feel the difference in those types of gameplay. But I think all in all, it comes down to a preference thing. 7.5 is probably where I would have landed it. Maybe like an 8 if you're a fan, but like if you're not a fan, then you probably be like, this is like a 7.
Okay, word. All right, cool. Just wanted to check in on it as it were. But yeah, all right, cool. Good update on that. Moving on, out of nowhere this week, we got the report from The Verge that Blumhouse Productions, who helped put on movies like Get Out and Megan, have announced a brand new games division to be a major player in the horror genre. So some more notes came through this report that stated that the new division will make some original horror-themed games for console, PC, and mobile, and is set about a budget range of around 10 million and below for their project. So thoughts on this? Thoughts on Blumhouse stepping into the game?
I know we all need more horror games. I'm sure as content creators, we can't get enough of those.
It will never make it to my hard drive.
You tell me you don't want that little dancing girl in like VR?
Little body roll. You don't want the body roll in there? Come on now.
Y'all can play these horror games, man. The horror is not for me. I'll leave that alone.
Oh shoot, man, that's crazy. But I will say this. I don't know. I am unfamiliar with the budget ranges of projects for. I know AAA is probably like, you know, high double digits to triple digit numbers in terms of budgets and stuff like that. 10 million or below sounds like pretty indie. It's like they're gonna start off small and see where it takes people. Seems pretty fair to me. I'm interested to see how what I'm just curious to see what games they pick first. Like a Megan horror game, it makes sense off the rip just because like again like how recent
You
it
can't
is.
do a Get Out horror game. I don't know how well that will go down.
And that's the one I wanted to get to. That's the one I wanted to get to right there.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
How do you make a Get Out horror game that does not cause mass controversy, especially to white people? Like how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? As if the movie wasn't bad enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just happy most people didn't get it on that side. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy it's but the game version, people gonna be tapped in from day one, and something's gonna go awry if it's a Get Out game.
Yo, I could just imagine the IGN reviewer being like, "All right, guys, let me try this Get Out VR," and they're just like, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
Exaggerated swagger, like yo.
Nah, that'd be crazy if they did that, man. Get out of here.
Like get that.
That'd probably be the name of the game. Get out of here.
Nah, but honestly, speaking of Blumhouse projects, like it's only Get Out. Get Out's the only one that they would have like some ties to in terms of Jordan Peele stuff, so they don't have to deal with too much like black people stuff, which is fantastic. Just keep it out, leave that out. But what would y'all see? I can see Megan being plausible. I can see in that one the not Kevin Bacon. I think it was Kevin Bacon. The black phone, the one where he kidnapped the kid and put him in a room or something like that. That
I don't watch horror movies.
Okay. Damn, I forgot. He stayed away from the Duppy, man. He stayed from Duppy them. But yeah, like that I can see being one. They have some properties to work with. I'm just wondering what is going to be like the format. And again, with the 10 billion under budget, I wonder how much wiggle room they have to work. So it's going to be interesting to see. But
it's going to be a first-person Paranormal Activity is probably gonna be like the first big drop. Is what I can see.
Wow.
I can very much see that.
And I can see a lot of people playing it. Like I think that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
It can be really it can be a really small, super niche thing, like not necessarily on the scale. I don't know how
It
much
doesn't have
budget
to be
went into
good.
yeah.
Like
I don't know how much budget went into PT, but like literally on that small scale, like it didn't have to be like that crazy.
Like if you look at a lot of the horror games that a lot of people playing, like Corey Kenshin, for example, big horror game player. A lot of the games that I watch him play that are horrifying are like they have the graphics of like a Resident Evil 1 game. Like it's not,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be, you don't have to do something like Atomic Hearts to be scary. You just have to put people, you just have to isolate their senses. That's really that's how horror is done. And I think they could
True.
do it for super cheap.
Yeah. Nah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. And it's like from a business side, it's got to be like a show up and prove deal. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
just got to do a couple of small projects and like make it hit with the horror community and show you can actually do it at this level. And then they'll give you more bags to tap into the other IPs and do all that stuff. So it's a work in progress, but this could be really good for the horror community. Honestly, like there's some good IPs under Blumhouse's wheelhouse, so they could be eating off that. So we'll
sure.
figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, moving down the list here. So, Ubisoft confirmed this week that it will be at E3, ladies and gentlemen, and it promises to deliver a strong lineup of titles coming with it. So the cavalry's coming for Ubisoft, guys. How are we feeling?
What's a strong like? What's a strong E3 showing? Like I want to know. Like I'm
From
excited for this.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Like what's a
You gonna show the
strong?
next 5 years of Assassin's Creed?
Bro, they're gonna show up with the full Just Dance band again. They're gonna show up dancing their asses in there. Happity tap tap tap. They're gonna be like, all right, y'all, let us show you 6 hours of Skull and Bones, and then we're all just gonna be like, why?
Yo, I have a question, bro. Like, yo, honestly, who at E3 didn't realize when all they could get was Ubisoft that it was time to close this up?
Bro,
No, genuinely. I'm not saying I want them to die.
I'm shutting the studio down like Diddy, bro. Forget it.
But when you can get nobody but Ubisoft?
There's one person. I know there's one person.
Konami is coming too, and Konami said they have news as well.
Yeah,
but
they're gonna show us how their NFT collection is gonna revolutionize gaming.
Hey, listen. Listen, I'll get back on. Actually, I'll say this now. I think Konami will show a couple of things, actually, aside from NFT things. And I told niggas earlier, bro, they're gonna piss you off this year. They're gonna piss you off.
Me?
Yes.
You think Konami's gonna piss me off? You think Konami hasn't already pissed me off? You think they haven't already made the list of companies I hate?
Again, no, I'm telling you, they're gonna go back. They're gonna dip into the well again, bro. Because something Metal Gear Solid is coming this year. I bet you money.
It's gonna be Metal Gear Solid, the card game, and it's gonna be all NFT based.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's gonna be. I swear to God, and I'm gonna download it because it's gonna be free, and I'm gonna play like a couple rounds, and I'm gonna be like, man, I hate that this is my life right now.
No, nah, man. They're dipping back into that well, bro. They're gonna touch the main series again. They're gonna touch it again. Whether it be that remake might come. That remake might come. For which one, I don't know, but one of them might come.
I'll take a remake.
Be prepared.
I'll take a remake any day of the week, but I don't want them. I mean, we'll see. But back to Ubisoft, unless they're announcing a third Rayman game, which they will not do, we're gonna see Assassin's Creed in Paris or wherever. Like, I don't even know where they can head to at this point, and it's gonna be like the guy with the hoodie, and it's gonna be completely different gameplay, but it all feels the same. It's just, man, I want Ubisoft to go one full year without making a game that's open world. Like, I want them the no open world challenge to see if they can even play.
You not know what era we're in, bro? Are you for real?
No, but it's
like for real.
The people who've made this open world thing worse were Ubisoft. Ubisoft is the one who originally destroyed this genre. Like, they just said,
and
yo,
crazy, because they started out with some really great stuff for
they had like Far Cry 3 was great. Like, I love that open world game. Watch Dogs, meh,
both,
but it was like
the first few ACs, like, yo, that's crazy.
But I don't think they know that their games suck because they put so much things into these open worlds. Like, I genuinely don't think they know that their games are bad because they can point to all the cool things you can do. Like, bro, but in Far Cry, you can collect a bunch of posters. Like, is that not fun? Is that what you guys want? Things to do. There's so much to do. It's like, all of it sucks, bro. Make me a good linear game with no open world, like the Rayman games, and then I'll consider you guys a real company.
Bro, give up.
I already have.
Bro,
Yeah, no.
honestly, it's a company that's based off of nostalgia at this point, and most people will, and a lot of companies are like, you're gonna get people to come back for those games. So that's why it's like when you say like this game is bad, somebody's gonna be like, oh, I played it because it was on my Xbox or whatever. And that's really it.
Yeah, I'm saying all this shit now, but when Splinter Cell come through, I'm yeah.
Boomer ass game.
Shut up. Oh, what do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to do?
I mean, you're
What-
gonna be playing Splinter Cell. I'll be playing Metal Gear. We're both gonna be miserable. We're shackles to our nostalgia. It is what it is.
Oh man, but yeah, Ubisoft having a strong E3 presence, bro. It's like,
Sure.
okay, all right, I guess, you know.
We're
Amazing.
scared.
Shiver my timbers.
Shaking in my boots.
Oh my gosh, man, that is what it is. Anyways, moving on to the next story here. We got some gameplay for the Telltale rendition of the Expanse series coming soon, showing off some brand new gameplay snippets and improved looks at Telltale's engine. I cannot say that word. Telltale. Telltale. What are your thoughts on that?
It looked good actually. I'm not even a huge fan of the Telltale engine because even when it first came out, I thought it was dated.
Mm.
And I still like the games. Don't get me wrong; those games have really good stories. But you're playing it for the story. But this actually looked like genuinely more. It doesn't look good. Like it's not as good as like a God of War, but it looks like
Yeah,
wow,
but
you
it looks
guys.
like it's a huge leap from what they did before.
Yeah, this isn't a
Huge.
game made in like the 90s. Like this is actually like playable. Well, not unplayable,
Mhm.
but you know what I mean. Like it actually looks like you guys are.
It looks palatable. It looks sharper, much
Yeah,
sharper than it has ever been. So that's the thing for me. Like I haven't seen The Expanse. People tell me it's a really good show, and I gotta go watch it. Add that to my like literally snake way list long of just shows I need to watch. But again, from the gameplay alone, from the snippets, how you moved around, it looked a lot smoother. It looked a lot sharper. Colors looked a lot more again, like just in tune. And that makes me happy for how Telltale standing is generally, because I know they just recently won some funding money. They about to get stuff cracking with different projects. Wolf Among Us 2 coming back soon. So I'm just glad that they got the engine situation like as optimized as possible for like stuff today. Cause I want it to be in sharp quality. I want it to be at a decent standing, a good standard for the project that they're about to come back with. Cause there's a lot of heat coming from their end. I'm telling you.
yeah. I'm excited.
100%, 100%. All right, sliding right into the trailer trove, the section where we talk about a little bit more watchable media. Only had a couple of stories here concerning some movie stuff. And first and foremost, a brand new Hellboy film is coming in the pipeline from Crank director Brian Taylor, entitled Hellboy: The Crooked Man. And the creator of the series, Mike Mignola, and writer Chris Golden have penned the script already and have kept the plot much more true to the authentic spirit of the OG stories it has been told. It'll be set in the 50s, and it sees the titular character and a rookie cop getting stuck in the random of land full of witches, ghouls, and some connection to Hellboy's past. Thoughts on this?
Crank, like the movie with Jason Statham. Is that
Correct.
that, that
Correct.
guy?
That cranked. That
Ah,
cranked. That cranked.
All
That
right,
cranked.
nah. All right, let's do it. Fuck it. Why not? Let's see what they have. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't seen any of the Hellboys. I think I watched the
nope.
first one or tried to, and I was like, this is cool, but like I just didn't really care.
First two were actually solid.
Yeah, I
First two
heard
were
good
actually
things.
solid.
And then like the last one, the newest, the reboot was garbage, I heard.
Not good at all.
Yeah, so like
Not good at all.
I never really understood the love for Hellboy, but like I'll tap back in. I'll do it. I
Mhm.
actually enjoy watching movies.
I
That's a
I
lie.
I I I had to do that's great. I had to do 10 Hail Marys before I watched them, but they're solid movies. I ain't gonna lie. The first two solid movies. The reboot joint, I watched it, terrible. Not a good movie. But the first two are Ron Perlman, great. Ron Perlman was a fantastic Hellboy. He's probably not coming back because he's too damn old. So I
Yeah,
don't know what
definitely.
the casting is gonna be like. I do not know what the casting is gonna be like. But since the creator is so close to the chest on this one, this time around, to my knowledge, I don't know if he has been as close as he has been before. This can hopefully be a better thing for casting, and I don't have too many worries about how the script and the progression of the story will go, because literally the dude who created the shit is there. So I have no fears about that necessarily. It's just how you gonna make it compelling and who you're gonna cast. Those are my only questions.
Yeah, and well, I guess we'll see what happens because I don't ever see this franchise dying out, but I also like
It's been on the fringes for a minute. It's like, yeah, it's like one of those cult classic type of things, or like a very niche experience, man. So yeah, Negus, with all your background and upbringing in childhood, you've seen Hellboy?
Oh hell no! Are you for real?
No, I'm joking. I just want to say,
Bro, what?
I
You thought I was allowed to go to a movie to see something called Hellboy? Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
They didn't even call it Hellboy. They called it HE double hockey six boy.
I couldn't even say the words in my house. What are you talking about?
I respect it. I respect it.
And that's the response you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. That's the response you're looking for. All right, moving on to the last story of the trailer trove here. Michael B. Jordan back in the news again ahead of his promo run for Creed 3. He spoke on some of the influences for the movie here and mentioned that some animes, including Hajime no Ippo, Megalobox, Naruto, and My Hero Academia inspired some scenes in the film, and most directly some of the fights. So, I mean, how do you feel about, again, Michael B. Jordan's directorial job on this being heavily influenced by some anime things? How y'all feel about how that might pan out?
He said that just to say that.
How do you know? How do you know?
Bro, it's a boxing movie that's supposed to be semi like realistic off of the Rocky. You know what? You let him say what he wants to say. Like,
that's so funny.
Nothing wrong, but it's definitely not the targeted audience. I'll tell you that right now.
You're telling me that the My Hero fan base isn't going to be lined up to watch Jonathan Majors?
No.
half of the anime community in there who hate black people like, yo, let's go see Creed 3. Let's get in there right now because he mentioned My Hero. He loves Deku and we love him. Like, what do you mean? Like,
no, they don't care. Like,
we kind of know the involvement of Michael B. Jordan and anime at this point with that hilarious interview where he was like, I'm a big fan of, what was it? Oh, I can't even say it.
It was a Nataru.
It was like Nataru or something like that. And it's like, what is he talking about?
I don't even know how to say it incorrectly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I get it. Like, cool, you like anime. Like, I do also. Like,
what does it have to do with
this isn't a reference to anime.
You know that meme where it's like, hello, my fellow kids. It's like that, but like Michael B. Jordan. Like, hello, my fellow weebs.
How do you do?
Oh, man.
No. In all honesty, like I could really be like, yo, if he was really like, yo, like John no Ippo, like we took some inspiration because of like just like certain things for the movie, because it's a movie, like they could do something, like cool, like that would like maybe he dedicated a name, like one of the moves to something,
yeah,
like cool, that would actually make sense.
Yeah.
But what does this have to do about Dragon Ball Z?
It was a direct quote. It's like something with Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Blow somebody up in front of Creed? He's gonna be like, it turns out Super Saiyan. What is the direct correlation in the film?
Jonathan Majors,
martial arts.
Kakarot. They're like, what?
Jonathan Majors halfway through the thing, like,
oh
dang.
Oh shoot!
They cut the lights. Jonathan Majors halfway through the fight is, he's gonna like stab himself in the heart, and then he's gonna do a body change, and then Jonathan Majors is gonna be Creed. That's how that's gonna work.
Man,
unreal.
Wrong market,
man. Broly? Is he Broly? Is this what this is? Like, this is too many questions, man. You could have just not said this, but listen, I'm gonna let him have it. Because if this movie turns out fire, I supported this all the way.
I'm gonna watch it. Like I'm
actually gonna watch it because the Creeds were decent.
I'm gonna watch it.
He didn't have to do all this. It's essentially what it comes to. It's like, my man. It's like when people who start lying when like they're in front of the host. It's like, bro, you didn't have to lie. You start lying, bro.
All
Like,
you gotta say is, yo, we got Jonathan Majors in it. You already got the female fan base flocking. They bought their tickets. Fandango ain't even got them up yet. They're already locked in. You know what I'm saying? You already got them.
He tapped the director on the knees, like, watch this. I'm about to blow this up. So we actually took a lot of inspiration from anime, and the director's like, bro, what are you talking about, bro?
I said everything we do, man.
I guess. The director's sitting there like, yeah. Oh, man.
Shoot, bro. No, that's too funny. That's too funny, man. But yeah, nah. I mean, again, he is the director, but like all the executive producers around him.
Oh, like, you're right. My. Like the executive producer.
Bruce is just sitting there like, did he really take it? Oh, man. Where did we see it? Can we get the reference? I don't know, man. I don't know. But best of luck. But I'm watching it.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I was watching it regardless of him saying
You know what
that.
I'm saying? He could have not said anything, and I was already in the theater.
This was a necessary part of the interview. He could have just kept it kosher. He didn't have to involve this, but it is what it is. All right, moving on to the last main stories of the week here. Had some more details on Jedi Survivor coming very, very soon in the next couple of weeks here. Had some details, including again, just more open world and linear portions, a mix of them, and deeper exploration paths on the different parts that you explore in the story. Breath of the Wild style puzzle shrines, more cosmetic variety, extended map layouts for fast travel, markets for unexplored areas, and a whole lot more. So, thoughts on some of the new gameplay you looked at, thoughts on some of the new changes that may be coming to Jedi Survivor.
That's great. Honestly, the biggest issue I have right now with Jedi is like when I'm playing the game and they make me go back to a planet and I'm like, I gotta walk there. Like that is unless and please tell me I'm wrong because I would love to be wrong right now. But like that's my biggest annoyance is like they'll open up shortcuts, which is great. I love shortcuts, but like let me fast travel to these places because these maps get really convoluted and complicated. There's wall running in a lot of places. I'm like, yo, you want me to wall run, do the jump thing, go all over the place just to get to the spot? Like, man, I just want to get the little collectible and go. Like, I just want to be on my way. But the game looks like this game looks like a game that not too big to fail, but you guys really can't mess up this formula. Like you guys kind of had it down packed. Adding in a little bit of extra, I'm all for it. The cosmetic variety is something I'm actually interested in because I feel like the other game, that's all that the game kind of really had to offer for a little bit. Is like, yo, all we have are like different like colors and different skins for certain things. That I think would be cool to make exploring feel a little bit more worthwhile. Like I don't feel like jumping into this cave with like these hard ass bosses just to make like my shirt look red, you know. Um, but we'll see. Honestly, I don't think this game could turn out bad, but I've been wrong before.
Nah, I feel you. To be honest, I think exactly with looking at this and what you just said is why I still haven't played the first one. I love Star Wars games. I've played a lot of them in the past, but my biggest problem is this game looks like and feels like when people talk about it, a chore. And that is my biggest fear is starting it and then feeling like, dang, I don't want to do this. So you saying that makes it even worse.
Yeah, and there's just certain things that would help the quality of life. I still think it's definitely worth the try, but I could definitely if you're somebody who's like I just want to see it for the story, I could respect that because there are times
I
where I'm
already
like,
did that. So like I've sold the story, but like when I'm like, yo, I want to purchase this, I'm like, yo, do I have the time to like
yeah,
dedicate to it?
it
Yeah.
does take up a good amount of time. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it does take up a decent chunk. If you want to beam straight through, honestly, if you had the skill, you could have just beamed straight through it. But it depends. It does take a fair amount of time, honestly. I'd have to check how long to beat to see what the averages are. But from what I've seen of this, like the hands-on preview, all the footage that's dropped so far, honestly, this could be a very positive change because one thing, well, a couple of things I felt like was lacking. This has nothing to do with the gameplay specifically. I mean, well, yeah, first the story is already really good. The character progression of Cal is a whole different thing. Hopefully, we'll see more of that in the story. We already established this, beforehand when we first saw Jedi Fallen Order. But the maps themselves, I feel like they generally felt really contained. They felt really, really contained. And I'm not mad at that because you're just focusing on the gameplay at first. You're really just trying to get used to everything, which I don't mind. It didn't feel as expansive. But as I'm looking at some of the new gameplay right in front of me, I'm just like, this feels like a really big leap. It feels like a big jump, and it feels like it's something that you can get lost in, like an Elden Ring-esque game, where it's like if you give enough of handling room, saying, listen, like you can go off that way, do whatever you do. I feel like in the first game you didn't really have that. You maybe had like some like one little path to get the cosmetic, but not a whole section of a map to be like, yo, I can find whatever in here. Like giving people more license to explore, I feel like would be really good for this game, especially the fact that they introduced mounts as well, so it makes it faster to traverse those areas. There's a lot of places where you can really find some enjoyment out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think there's a healthy balance. And like you guys said, it's kind of too big to fail, where it's like the worst you can do is the same as you did before. And that's not even a bad, it's like an 8. That's a pretty solid place to be. But I
Yeah.
feel like they'll have enough in the exploration, expanding the format and what you explore in a certain way to really make it like, yo, if you find something, it's really novel. It's really like, okay, you can go off the beaten path or the trodden path or whatever and like find something that you weren't necessarily meant to find if you kept on the main story route. So I'm excited that they've taken this approach. I'm excited that they kind of expanded and opened up the playable worlds a little bit. because that's something I would definitely like to do. Like, I want to become a Jedi Master and just explore shit. And it seems like he has a lot more in his tool belt to really use. Like, yeah, get the dual sabers, he has like guns, he has the grapple hooks, a lot more stuff. And I feel like that could help make it less stiff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make him a less stiffer, I guess, like combatant, which helps a lot as well. So I'm liking what I'm seeing, as what I'm saying. And also cosmetic variety. I want I want him to have a bunch of different. So give him like a pseudo Star Killer suit and all that, like a Jedi, like I'm about to say the whole like knight, a whole like old school knight
Right.
uniform, whatever. Give him all the different alternate outfits as you possibly can. I need to be dripped out, bro. I need to be dripped out. Cal can't be plain, bro. If you ain't going to drip out his character, at least drip out his fit. Like, come on, let's work on that. But uh, from what I've seen so far, it's gonna be a banger. Still, I'm not. I have no fears about the game, relatively at all. So yeah, solid, man, solid. Shout out to Jazz Survivor coming through soon. Oh, I gotta clear my nose for this one. Good lord, I forgot this was on the topic. Oh, jeez, ladies and gentlemen, niggas, I don't know if you've you know what I'm saying. I don't know if you've been tapped into this the latest telenovela, the Saturday stories of the Xbox Microsoft acquisition, all stuff like that. Uh, Today was the latest installment of the Xbox Activision telenovela. As we've said before, Microsoft held a big press conference this week with the European regulators to address like all their standing, where they're at, you know, with the progress of Activision merger, what they want, the shakedown. It was literally like a mafia sit down type beat. I ain't gonna lie. There was a lot of details given out, but some of the highlights here was Nintendo and Nvidia fully announced 10-year deals for the Xbox partnership and support on the Activision deal. So with that, they said, hey, listen, we're supporting Call of Duty. They can have it on their platforms. We're going to have it on our platforms for 10 years, as well as other Xbox titles. And then they also said, we support Activision, you know, the merger. Go ahead. So Nvidia and Nintendo gave the thumbs up. Xbox also reiterated that they will not settle for less than acquiring the entirety of Activision Blizzard. So all the stuff of them taking a piece of Activision, them selling off a piece and then taking a portion of it, taking Call of Duty, all that stuff is dead to them. They don't want none of that. They want the whole thing or nothing. So that was that. They said there was a description of the market split in the EU. They basically provided a bunch of stats that said in the EU, PlayStation has 80% dominance in market share and Xbox has 20. So they were like, what competition? You guys are dominating everything. They kind of just disproved that point. And they also had some discussion on potentially putting COD access on other cloud platforms and on PC via Chrome OS to remedy some of those accessibility concerns of like, oh, you guys are going to dominate the cloud market or PC market if you have Call of Duty under your wing. So thoughts on all the stuff that's going on with them, because geez, drama.
like like I'm sorry. That is a funny, that is funny. Like, first off, I don't know why you asking Nintendo and Nvidia for their opinions on this. What, like, Nintendo, what is Nintendo and like, okay, Nintendo and Activision, I don't even know what Activision games are on a Switch. Like, I can't even think of any Activision. Oh, my bad. Overwatch is on the Switch because there's so many people who are playing Overwatch 2 on the Switch right now. Nvidia, sure, I guess. Like, I'm sure Nvidia is happy with the acquisition deal because Lord knows they're super fair with pricing and their business management is not all about getting the money out of the people. 80% is a really bad look for PlayStation. Like, you guys, that is a hard sell. It'll be like, oh yeah, you guys are gonna dominate the market when they're not even 20%. That's kind of embarrassing. That's low key embarrassing to have to say myself. Like, we only own 20%. That's kind of damn. Sucks to be Xbox. This, sure, like, I don't know what the 10-year deal with Xbox and Nvidia and Nintendo are gonna look like. I genuinely don't. But like, I'm still against the acquisition, but it's pretty funny to have to sit there, call a press conference and be like, we suck here. Here is where we suck. So let us have this, please.
Bro, oh man. No,
To be
niggas, how do you
honest,
feel, man?
I like at the end of the day, I don't care. It's called it, like, you know, it's great. Call of Duty's gonna be on the Switch. It's gonna blow it up.
Drop shot
I like
this.
people thought that, like, you know, this meant maybe a new like console. I still don't. I still think it means nothing at all. Personally, maybe they might give a little upgrade, but that's about it. But yeah, outside of that, like, Microsoft is really just trying to like make as much like take over the market slowly, like each piece by piece. So I guess it's it's a great thing to have the Switch.
I, I'm just like, yo, this is messy. This is so messy on all sides. Like, bro, y'all was arguing so hard with the CMA, with the UK CMA, and then you know what I'm saying, doing that. And when it shows you guys are 80% dominant in the market, I mean, listen, what company wouldn't want to defend their position, obviously? But it's like, damn, you guys got 80% dominance in the market, and you're gonna say it's unfair that if they acquire one thing to get it to maybe like 27. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Call of Duty is a big platform, and they said they wouldn't do. I'm saying at least in the short term. You know what I'm saying? Like PlayStation, people still rock with PlayStation because of heavy brand loyalty. Niggas don't rock with Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a different brand substance type of thing. Now, not to say that it can be easily switched or switched over time, but right now, understanding dominance in the market is dominance in the market. So I was like, damn, that's there. Well, on the flip side, Microsoft has to take so many L's in conceding so many different points in these arguments. That is crazy. They're like, yo, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Xbox Game Pass does be cannibalizing some sales sometimes. It happens. It happens. We didn't know, you know what I'm saying? But we did some things for it. It's all right. And they're like, nah, we suck ass in Europe. You know what I'm saying? We're not great. We're not good at all. But, we're trying. We're just trying to get some stuff going. The fact is you got to take so many L's to get to this, they're willing to die over this right now. And it's hilarious. The dude who was presenting all this information, he literally was like, he walked over to the side of the stage and he was like, yo, in my hand is the agreement for PlayStation right here. That with a pen. I walk around with it every single day, and I have since December. Whenever they're ready to sign, we're here. I'm like, damn, bro, this is desperation, bro.
She don't want you, bro. I'm sorry, but yo, if I was sitting in that room and he would have like showed the slide where it says PlayStation owns 80%, I'd have been like, yeah, like I'd have been like,
Kevin Hart.
Damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's
like,
tough,
bro. That's it. Like you gotta get. It's a certain point of embarrassment you have to get what you want on this. Like you just gotta concede. You gotta give up some part. You have to have no shame to get through this. You have to have zero shame to get through this period, bro. They don't care. They're just trying to get this Activision deal done. Like I don't know, but I will say this: the fact if they get through this and they somehow acquire Activision, these 10-year deals are going to be absolutely ridiculous on the back end. If they get through and actually get what they want out of this deal, as soon as those 10-year deals expire or are close to expiring, those renegotiation talks, Xbox could be talking serious cash shit the next decade. They could be talking some serious cash shit. And that's a dangerous game to be in. I ain't gonna lie. Like they gotta have some lockdown stuff. They gotta have like Diddy Suge Knight contracts on Call of Duty and all them exclusivity joints like forever. Like, yo, we don't want to deal with that. We're not even gonna give you the chance to do some buffoonery with our brands or whatever. Like, if they get through, Microsoft got a lot to handle in the next decade. They got a lot of ammo and bargaining chip power. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be crazy.
Yo, I don't even know. I don't want to be playing games in 10 years if this goes through. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna be bad. Like, I don't believe
there's a chance it could be very spooky.
Like, I don't know. The lack of competition is gonna make game like I hope you guys are happy with the quality of games now. I hope you guys cherish what we have because gaming does not get better. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we've already peaked. This is the descent. If this goes through, it could get worse.
People are gonna be like, remember we were hating on Suicide Squad?
Bro, I wish we had a Suicide Squad.
Right. No, you're right.
Why I gotta pay to reload my gun? Please.
Oh my gosh. Nah, man. It's actually gonna be bad. It's actually gonna be pretty bad if things go left. And it's like they have there's so much room for error. There is a lot of room for error on many different sides. Because, like, again, if you have to put Call of Duty up for sale somewhere else, it can't really stand on its own with its own infrastructure because it's a part of Activision. So, like, who swoops that up? And if another company swoops it up, that's a whole entire thing. Like, somebody has to be small enough to still acquire it and not be a overly competitive or dominating force. And who has that money to pick up Call of Duty? Very few people. So it's like you're only looking at like the Embracer Group, Sony, EA, and maybe like one other company. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to really think about that. Either you let it die or nothing happens. Like this is a very tough spot to be in. I ain't gonna lie, but the ramifications for this is gonna be felt. It's gonna be felt, especially in a decade if all this stuff goes through. So yeah, man, this is messy. There's one thing I can say. This joint is messy. I would not be standing up there delivering that information, bro. If Phil Spencer told me, hey, listen, you got to deliver this information for us, bro. Like, but you saying we get 20% in the market? You saying we ass here like that bad? Like, yeah, you got to say that out loud. Like, I'm not in the room.
Raise.
you gonna have to give me more than 20% for this. Like, this is something different.
You want me to say 20% in front of the hoes? No,
in
sir.
front of the whole, like, yo, man, it's televised. My family here, like, yo,
they're gonna take pictures of me next to the fucking graph, bro.
they did.
They did. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that man next to a bad graph. I'm
the
pissed.
Pictures are forever. They're forever, bro. I'm like, damn. Oh,
your
God.
kid looking at you like, damn, dad, your company suck. Like, yo, shut up.
Hey, eat your breakfast, man. Shut your ass up.
They're killing you in the quote retweets, dad.
Oh my. Crazy situations, man. But all right, moving forward here to No Man's Sky. They're back again with another huge free update in No Man's Sky Fractal with new PSVR 2 optimizations, controls, new gameplay, vehicles, and expeditions to get into. I know we're not all the most familiar with No Man's Sky, but I just want to throw this on there just to say that, yo, kudos to y'all.
How y'all making money? Like, I don't even know how y'all making
also
money.
True.
No, I don't.
Also very true. I feel like this is the longest, like, what's it called?
Free update.
Longest remittance period ever. He's paying back to the fans for a minute because that launch was crazy. It was pretty crazy. But it's been like 5 years. It's like 5-6 years since that happened.
Free updates for 5 years. Like, that's something that's something that not many. I don't think anybody can say. People can't say that. No. Free updates.
And they've had a loyal base. They've had a loyal base. I need to see their performance metrics as compared to Star Citizen, honestly, because they're I mean,
I wouldn't even consider Star Citizen in the same genre anymore, bro. Like, that's
not even honestly, to be real. Like, they've done so much different stuff. They've literally done stuff consistently. They've expanded as fast, if not faster than what's it called, Star Citizen. Again, the teams may be different size or whatever, and they got picked up, different circumstances, but still, it's like, yo, No Man's Sky really turned around. Like, at some point I will try No Man's Sky again. At some point I will. I haven't because other stuff happened. I was busy. My fault, y'all. My fault, Sean Murray. My bad, dog. But I do want to come back because they've added so much into this game. It's utterly ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous how much they came back. So, kudos to them for sticking to their plan of catering to the people that supported the game. That's a huge kudos, because that is literally a rare case. We'll never see something like this again. We'll probably never see something like this again in gaming because
they don't care enough. It doesn't make enough. There's no way that they're making enough money to keep this up. Like, these people genuinely care. I feel like some of these updates, people have been working like on the weekends. They're just like, oh, I thought of something cool to do for this game. Like, that's what I feel like, because there's no way this game that's on Game Pass, it's been out for I don't know how long, is making money when there's no in-game cosmetic purchases. Like, you can't pay for anything. Like, everything is just playing the game, and there's no like DLC to buy. Like, it's just the game.
And that's a rarity, man. That's a huge
You're never getting this again.
Bro.
Especially if the Activision deal goes through, you don't have to pay for updates. You have to pay for patch notes.
So you want to start the game $5?
$5, bro.
Yo, it's crazy. But again, shout out No Man's Sky, because again, everybody gave it a lot of shit. I remember I was in high school when that game came out. I'm pretty sure I was like latter end of high school, and I remember my boy was so excited for No Man's Sky. And I was telling him, like, yo, I don't know how I feel about it. When it came out, I was dogging him every day. I was like, bro, that game ass. You see what happened to it? You see what happened? Enjoy ass. But I throw my hands up, bro. I was wrong. This was a great redemption story, bro. Y'all came back. No, I wasn't wrong. It was ass when it dropped. I was not wrong. I was not wrong. But I was surprised by how they responded over years and years. The consistent effort to actually improve your experience and make it free to people on top of that. That is something that we do not see in gaming. We do not see that on a consistent basis, nowhere near enough, and not to this extent ever. So, again, hats off. You're probably going to be better than Starfield. I don't know yet, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But again, shout out to No Man's Sky. All right, moving on to the next one here. Got some word from the godfather of the city of Final Fantasy, Ichiro Hazama, that he stated he's about done with the thought of making a new Dissidia game. He's hanging up those boots, but he said he wants somebody else at Square Enix to take up the mantle, like Batman. You know what I'm saying? Take it up and bring a brand new Dissidia game to life in the future. So, how do y'all feel about that? Who could be the guy or girl or person or developer to bring that up and bring Dissidia back? How do y'all feel about that?
I'm not gonna lie
This
to
is
you,
not
gang.
my field.
I've never played Dissidia.
You never
Yeah,
played
this is
Dissidia?
not my.
No,
This
I've
is
Y'all never
not
played
my
Dissidia?
field, bro.
I've never played Dissidia.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
The
watched
PvP one?
gameplay of
The
Dissidia.
PvP joint? Oh, that's tough. That's
Yeah, bro.
tough.
Nah.
I'm sorry, bro.
Sorry.
This is
Yeah,
a
they
you
gotta
this
watch
is a you
something.
story.
This is all
This a
you.
me thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is a me thing. This is a me thing. This is tough, man.
I'm about to look
This
up
is
some
tough.
gameplay while you talk about it. I've never heard
I
it.
feel like, especially now, because the state of gaming, especially with Square Enix, has grown so much in terms of a fidelity standpoint, and like games look really, really good from Square Enix when they're optimized. They look really, really good. So having that, and then and kind of making some tweaks to their systems and stuff, and making it play well in the modern day, that's going to be a hard thing to push, in my opinion. Uh Maybe the team who did all the Yoshida, the guy who did Final Fantasy 16, him, I think he could be a really good pick to actually bring Dissidia back. Because I mean, again, he's familiar with Final Fantasy, obviously, and I feel like with Final Fantasy 16 and the latest iterations, he's been able to at least figure out how to really get the combat tweaks right. At least from a single player standpoint, but that can be adapted and that can be transformed into how something that's multiplayer could be based. So who's to say that Yoshida can't pick up something? If there was anybody, I think that'd be my primary pick number one. And I'm not saying Nomura because of the fact that I don't care. Leave Nomura alone. Let him do Kingdom Hearts. Let him do what he does. Leave him to his devices. Don't call him for no unnecessary stuff. Don't call him for nothing unnecessary. All right, leave him alone. His phone number should be untapped with filter messages. Hey, the city, click, hang it up. Hang it up. Leave him alone. Let him work on Kingdom Hearts and all stuff like that. Appreciate you. But Yoshida seems like a good pick for me. That's all I'm saying. Damn, I was really alone on that one. My fault.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you're
100%.
I love the passion. I watched, like, I literally just saw a couple seconds of gameplay. I see what you're talking about. It's kind of like a little like arena fighter, kind of like a
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like
Yeah.
it brings the Final Fantasy characters together. I'm just not. I like Final Fantasy. I'm just not that big of a Final Fantasy character.
No. Fair. Yeah. It could be really good, especially now because you have like all this time has passed. Like I can't remember if they had lightning in one of those games or not. I think they did. I can't remember. Actually, wait a minute. I don't think they did off the top of my head, but you have like lightning from the Lightning Returns games. You have Noctis. You have again like Clive or whatever
Cloud.
from the new one. Cloud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cloud. I was in there, I think.
Cloud was. In the video I
Yeah.
saw he was in there. Listed as a mod.
Yeah. But some of the people who weren't like who were in Final Fantasy games that weren't like that weren't made in that time frame of Dissidia. So like
Yeah.
you have the new characters that could come in and stuff like that. There's a lot of new blood that can go into the Dissidia game. And you could also drop a cheeky Sora in there and stuff like that too. Cause I'm like, hey, the play's still up. You know what I'm saying? There's some wiggle room to put some extra characters and stuff in there too. It could be interesting. So I just hope that Dissidia does get picked up by somebody, but I think Yoshida's probably the most likely target in the next, I'd say probably like eight years, conservatively 8 years, conservatively. So that's fine there. Moving on to the next story here. Industry veteran and esteemed writer / director Joshua Ortega, who wrote on Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and several Star Wars projects, has seemingly confirmed that he is involved with the Gears of War franchise again for future projects. Now, for those that don't know, again, he's a writer and co-director for God of War 2 and co-created the story and narrative level design for Gears of War 3. I said God of War. Gears of War 2. Thank goodness. He was a writer and co-creator for Gears of War 2, and he co-created the main campaign and the level design for Gears of War 3. So he has experience. He's a veteran for Gears of War, not only that, and in gaming in general. Gears of War have been real quiet. So how do you guys feel about this? Do they need this? Do y'all see any foreseeable return or a redemption for Gears of War?
I know people care about the story mode, like somewhat, but like I feel like it really matters about the multiplayer for a Gears of War. Like at the end of the day,
At this point,
only the
multiplayer matters for me. I'm sorry,
yeah,
I lost track after 4. I really did lose track after 4.
I downloaded 4.
a bonus.
Yeah, like I downloaded to play the story mode because it was on PC. Did not
Yeah,
make it through.
but my
I
boy,
started playing multiplayer and I was like, oh, this is kind of gas. And then
yeah,
that was
that
about it.
as long as you keep that in horde mode solid, you can do whatever to the story mode, honestly. But
Yeah.
again, he does a level design too. So, but just his presence, I feel like could be a big help to the Gears of War brand in general, because Xbox need a win. Xbox need a win. Halo's not gonna do it for you. Halo shot themselves in the kneecap. They're not coming
But
out with
if Halo
anytime
can't
soon.
do it for him, why are we putting it on Gears? Like
Yeah.
Halo,
I'm not saying
That's the
everything on Gears.
reality.
I'm not saying everything. They just need a win. They just need a win. I'm not saying the whole burden of the
I don't
they
think
don't
I
have to
don't
be
think it.
Atlas for
I
Xbox.
I don't think you realize what you're saying, man. I'm gonna be real with you. I get what Wen is
Play
saying. I'm
some.
sorry. If
I'm
you
okay.
can't win with
Explain.
Halo, if you
Yeah.
can't win with Halo,
Oh, okay.
how are you winning with Gears?
you gonna stop the fire maybe for a little bit,
Maybe.
but it's not like
But I'm not saying the win will be equivalent to a scale of a Halo. Like
right.
they need anything. They need anything they can get. That's what I'm trying to say. So any type of positive progress would be, I think that would be a win, not a capital W. It'd be like a
I think the
lowercase,
problem
mini.
is like the shooter genre right now. Like
It's
obviously there's
very
always room.
mm,
Like you I'm never gonna say there's not anything that, but like it's again, you have Halo that didn't work. And then like you're trying to come into a market again with like games that are grandfathered in at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
And
don't know.
I feel like it's such a different now. Everybody's such movement minded now. You know what I'm saying? Like the Apexes and all stuff like that. I mean, you have your Valorant and stuff like that, but it's a very different thing. It's either no movement or max movement. I feel like there's no in between. I feel like Gears of War is that in between where it's like, okay, you're wall bouncing, but the general movement is still kind of stiff, where it's like, you're still turning, you know what I'm saying? Like not as fluidly as you would in an
Expressive as
Apex.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not as expressive. It's very rigid. There is the wall bouncing aspect of it, but it's still very rigid constraints to how you move. And I feel like it's maybe a little bit dated. I will say that it may be a little bit dated, but there's still things that they can do to actually make it unique and compelling. It's just it's gonna be an uphill battle. It's gonna be an uphill battle. But I would like to see Gears back in some capacity personally because I enjoy Gears. I enjoy Gears, but it's just hard. A game like that will be hard to make that jump and make that adjustment in today's day and age where people are very movement minded, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I can see that. I see what you're saying. Um,
Yeah.
I sure I'd be happy for the Gears of War fans, but I don't know if I'd ever download another Gears game unless it was like Gears 1 through 3
Yeah.
remastered and like I
Yeah.
had somebody to play it with, like I was playing it with Panda or something for a video or whatever. But like
Yeah.
if it's me playing video games on my free time, it will not be Gears.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's fair. I was grandfathered into Gears. Like people play Gears before me, and I just hopped in literally, and then kind of backtracked and stuff like that from there. Like I was not doing that on my own volition. Like I was late to the party on Gears in general, but I liked it. I liked it honestly. Like it was different. It didn't feel like Call of Duty. It was very, you know what I'm saying? At the time, Call of Duty Battlefield was dominant, so I was like anything that was different. I was like, okay, I can tap into it. So I feel like that's why I got a soft spot for it slightly. But it's I'm just saying in general, Xbox needs a big first party win. They do. That's a bottom line, and they need to
A lie.
take it from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They need to get a win from anywhere at this point to really get on track. You know what I'm saying? Hi-Fi Rush does count as one, but not to that size. You know what I'm saying? That was a surprise hit. That was a sleeper hit. That was more like that's a different lane. They're covering boxes in different lanes, but that big first party, you got to go, toe to toe, punching up with a Sony or a Microsoft with a big release. They getting their ass whooped every time. They need something there. You know what I'm saying? They gotta, you know what I'm saying, relive that Xbox 360 era juice, so to speak. So we'll
Would it have
figure
to be
that
free to play?
out.
That's a
Gears
great
free to
question.
play is crazy.
Like Game Pass?
Mm.
Like would it
It
have
would
to
have to be
be
Game
Oh
Pass,
yeah, they did get
1000%.
Yeah.
Gears 5 and 6 were on Game Pass. Gears 4, I think Gears 4, 5, and 6 were on Game Pass
There's
at
a
some
Gears
point.
6.
Or no, Gears 4 and 5,
I was
not
gonna
6.
say
I think 6 is coming. I think 6
if
is
they
coming.
dropped
My
the
fault.
Gear 6 and I never heard of it, I'm like that shows
Bro.
you how well this is gonna
But
go.
even talking about on Game Pass, but would it have to be free to play in this era? Like
I think it would have
would
to.
you
I
have to
think
go
the
that rate?
either that or like a beta or something. But like, cause like
Okay.
you think I'm paying? Like, think of all the popular shooters right now. Are any of them shooters you pay for?
No.
Why would you?
Nah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And only people have that excuse right now is Call of Duty, but Warzone literally is the
Warzone's free,
fail-safe
yeah.
for that. Yeah, the Warzone's the override for that too. There's always a loophole in it. Yeah, nah, I hear it. I hear it. It's just tough uphill battle, man. Xbox is fighting. They fighting for their damn lives on so many fronts. It's crazy. It's actually
Fighting
crazy.
for a $1 billion deal doesn't seem like that crazy of a fight for me.
Yeah,
Like,
nah.
No, not for me, but I'm saying like it's not a good look. Their optics are not that good when you look into it. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like they desperate for the wins, bro.
They
They
are
need the
desperate for the
wins.
wins. You could
That's
say
what I'm
that.
trying to say. You know what I'm saying? They desperate for the wins. They fighting for their life to get these wins and scratch and claw to get somewhere. That's what I mean. All right. Anyways, moving on to the last story here. Hold your ears, other FGC and specifically Smash Fighters. Capcom just told the world to get their money up and not their funny up as they decided to announce that the prize for this next Capcom Cup that will be held within Street Fighter 6 will be set at $1 million, which is one of the largest leaps for one of the classic fighter titles that I've ever seen in a tournament setting. How do you guys feel about this jump for the Capcom Cup and that prize money?
Bro, I think it's really cool. I think it's like I wish it was something that was like a while ago, like during like the big like esports boom. But now, even now, for like something to happen like that, especially with like a new game coming on its foot, and like basically, I hope they go even further with it. In my opinion,
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot tell you how exciting this is to see because
Yeah.
like even if you're somebody who's playing Valorant or whatever, right? Like let's say you're one of like the people who like really is into esports but just hasn't found their groove or like wants to be a competitive gamer. Like you seeing $1 million on a cash prize, bro. Like I'm gonna try Street Fighter 6 out. Why wouldn't I? Like
Yeah.
if you're
No,
somebody
seriously.
if you're somebody who plays even Smash Bros, a game that is not connected to Street Fighter whatsoever, why wouldn't you try it? Why wouldn't you try this game out? Just a little bit, even just a taste. Like it just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense for you not to try to tap into this like growing $1 million by Capcom. Like you don't really hear that,
Crazy.
bro. Like
No.
like
That's supreme confidence in their product first and foremost. Like they was like, yo, we know you guys are gonna get into this so much so that we're willing to put $1 million on the line for that cup. Like we
and
want y'all
this
involved.
this kind of this kind of like action, like this is exactly like what you need to bring about like change. Like this
Mhm.
right here, Street Fighter 6, marks my word, is gonna be like the new renaissance of fighting games. Like this is gonna be where FGC comes back and like we're getting more people into the FGC. I thought
Mhm.
like people were saying like fighting games are like a dying breed. I don't know, man. This kind of a push, it seems like they genuinely are trying to tap into like a newer market or like even
Mhm.
just
I don't think
revital. Go for it.
I
Go
don't
for it.
think that it's like a dying breed. I definitely think that it's more of like it's definitely niched out, and
Yes.
like Street Fighter is something that like you have to want to get into it. But like, if my hope is you're putting $1 million behind it, this is like a big gaming company, which means that they're hoping that like I'm hoping that their marketing is going to be on point for this, which means that they're like ready to like expose the players to like being like, this is here, this
Mhm.
is what we're trying to do, and this is what we're trying to expand on, because like it will make people step up like all around, because now it's gonna be like, yo, Tekken, like what are y'all gonna do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you can't just look at that, because what's gonna end up happening is like, if I'm a Tekken player and say for instance now Capcom is doing these type of tournaments every so often, which one am I gonna play that actually has the actual realistic like money? Of course I'm still gonna play Tekken,
Yeah.
but if I'm good at Street Fighter also, I'm gonna go try to make more money.
There's a really interesting story of like the Street Fighter player who, when Tekken 7 came out and Akuma was added, they went and they were competing in tournaments and they were crushing it in tournaments to the point where they
Mhm.
started playing Tekken seriously. And like I'm a person who plays fighting games. I know of a few of my friends who play fighting games. None of us are like, oh, I'm only playing Guilty Gear. I'm not touching anything else. We all love to tap in and play other fighting games. And this is one of those moments where it's like, I just feel like they're trying to um like incentivize people to try out Street Fighter.
Mhm.
And I think that it's gonna do really well. And I think that the way Tekken 8, like the way Tekken is being rolled out, because I feel like you didn't hear a word about Tekken 8 until Street Fighter 6 came out. And now they're like, yo, we need to ramp this up because now we're getting way more information about Tekken 8. And every time the Street Fighter thing pops up, I feel like in a month or two we're gonna hear more things about Tekken.
Tekken.
So
Yeah.
it's a very competitive space. You don't want to be the fighting game that the least amount of people are playing because the pool is already so small. Like you said, it's already a niche. So like one, I've already been a huge fan of how they've been handling the Street Fighter rollout. It's been done. It's been executed. Honestly, one of my favorite video game campaigns of so far. I think the only other thing that I could think of was as hype was like Smash. Every time they announced a new character, like this feels reminiscent to that era. And like seeing like big prize pools, like it's just I don't know, man. Like the FGC, I feel like it's gonna be a good time for us. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, and it's like I think the part of it, speaking from my perspective as the casual, yeah, I say how you doing. Speaking of that, like the $1 million, like damn, that's a hell of a lot of money. Like I don't hear that type of money usually coming out from a lot of the FGC. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh dang, so they really believe in their product for one, but two, it's like the entire experience of it. They might bring you in just off the prize money, or like, oh, this game is gonna be crazy, everybody gonna be playing it. But I feel like they didn't have enough systems or enough modes around it to support the more casual gameplay. So it's like if you're ass at the game, which I'm assuming I will be at some point, I can go blow off some steam in the story mode, in the world tour mode, and doing something else there, and still enjoying my time. And also, probably learning how to be a better fighter, probably learning some things on the way, and maybe learning different characters, learning different move sets. Having the ecosystem to keep you around is just as important as the initial offering that brings people in. You know what I'm saying? That $1 million could be enticing, but now you have a whole environment that you can just stay in and enjoy the fighting game, enjoy a little arcade mode. Oh, you want to play this little classic Street Fighter thing while we're waiting for another game? Hop with me in the little like arena waiting mode thing. There's so much. I think there's so much more embedded into the experience of Street Fighter that's gonna make it a really, really enjoyable, longevity wise, a very, very fruitful just game in general. I kind of agree with where it's like this is gonna be a big leap for fighting game experiences in general, where it's like, yo, it's gonna be more than just getting into the fight. It's gonna be about the entire experience now and bringing more eyes to the platforms that you guys are on. You know what I'm saying? Like Street Fighter 6 will really be that big leap where it's like, yo, it's not just the game there and the community just kind of create stuff from the base stuff you create. They're making more and more to keep people in house. They're creating more and more to keep people cohesive rather than just drop the base game and leave it. Street Fighter, Capcom doing a really good job with this rollout. Again, me, a person who's shy at fighting games, I want to play this and get better. I want to play like fighting games again and actually get better. Just looking at these trailers, you know what I'm saying? So Street Fighter been doing a good job, but Smash players, look away now. Look away now. If you dedicate to Smash, my boy, you getting paid shillings. You better go. You better go pick up. You better go pick up Ryu. You better get going.
No, facts. You're gonna be getting paid in exposure.
Facts, bro. You better get in Smash. You better get in Smash and start there. Learn his real combos. Learn the Z on the switch stick, and then hop over. Like it's route for you if you don't move, man. That's crazy, bro. But yeah, shout outs to Capcom because that is very, very good for the fighting game scene, in my opinion. So shout outs to that. And with that being said, that's all the notes that we have on this episode today. Anything that we might have missed from anything in the news, anything that might have happened in the last couple hours so that we didn't cover?
The only thing is the Evo 2023
Oh, the
lineup was announced.
Mhm.
All these games being played on PS4. I'll make it quick for you guys. Being played on PS4, still hilarious to me. So we got Street Fighter 6. I didn't even know that was coming out on PS4. But we got Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Tekken 7, King of Fighters 15, Melty Blood, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and I think, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but they always like to bring in a nice little throwback game in there. So we got Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 in the cut.
Yes, sir. Big up MVC 3.
It is a very, very good lineup. I'm very excited for Evo. The only sad thing is that they are no longer doing top 8s. They're doing top 6, which is like, I think they're trying to, if I'm not mistaken, they're just trying to bring the show down a little bit because it's so common that it runs over. So
long as hell.
I'm not, it's sad because I love top 8, but I also understand that like, yo, I'm sure the people at the venue are like, yo, we got to disinfect this bad boy after you guys are done anyways. So like, we need to speed this up. Like, I get it. It sucks, but Evo 2023 is going to be sick. I can't wait to see Street Fighter 6 at Evo 2023, actually, because that is a game we're going to see some high level play for a game that's been out, maybe like a month or two at that point in time. So yeah, Evo 2023 is going to be great, but that's about the only thing that we missed.
Hey man, you know what I'm disappointed about with that. So
Oh, what the lack of a very good party game?
very good party game, man. One of the best party games of all time. Sadly, like I'm still disappointed. I understand, like, man, it sucks, like watching like that game because of the fact that like they just won't work with Sony.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's like set tripping. Like you understand, like it's probably like a hard line they won't cross.
yeah. That's why
So
one
they're
company's
not gonna let it
blue
happen.
and one company's red.
Yeah, straight up, straight
Crazy.
up,
It's crazy.
straight up.
We need the picture of the blood and the crip on the the side of the street with the with
It's
the
so
bandana tied.
sad, man,
Holding it.
because it's like one of those things where it's like, yo, this is just fighting games. Like, and we
Yeah,
understand that like Sony is obviously the owner of fighting games, right? They are the king of them. Like that is the system that they play it on. But at the same time, to not have like possibly some of the best viewership from like I know it wasn't even on they don't have it on the main stage for a while at some points, but I just wish that like it was something that we could just like get over, like personally. I
yeah.
really do.
Honestly,
I completely
that
agree. I miss
that
watching like
company on the beach.
the Smash
Yeah.
top eights back in the
Mhm.
day. Those were like me and my boys. We would like watch it while we were eating. We were like at college, and we would watch like top eight while we were eating cereal because we had to go to college sooner because we worked for the college. And I
Mm.
was like, "Damn, bro, that was hype." And we're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "You're not gonna see that anymore," which is tough.
No.
Crazy. Man. Yeah. Settle the beef, man. Settle the beef. What would the kids think? Gosh, damn, what's wrong with them? Anyways, uh, I think there was probably a couple of different random stories. Like I think I saw that they were gonna make more Lord of the Rings movies and stuff. I think there was an HBO Max series about some game. I completely forget what it was. I think they ordered an HBO Max series for some show, and I forget what it was. I'm gonna be pissed off because I was like, "Yo, ain't no way that they're doing this." But whatever. I'll figure out next time. Anyways, closing notes for this episode of No Cooldown Podcast. We'll throw it to Win first.
Make sure you guys drink your water, sign up for those betas, and make sure you get in the lab because when June drops, it's gonna be crazy.
Hey man, that's real. That's real. I can't wait to get my ass whooped. Anyways, moving on to our stand-in for Kxngviii, aka Negus is in the building. What's it called? The closing notes for the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it. It's always great
Mm.
to talk about like, different things and aspects of gaming, especially since I only pay attention to Nintendo. You guys know that. So when it comes down to it, that's usually where I lie. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting, like the next couple months,
Mhm.
especially with everything going on. There's going to be a lot happening, especially with hopefully Nintendo. So we'll see.
Mhm. Got you. Got you, man. That's crazy. My closing notes is what I'm saying, when you put your hands up in the sky, some people told you, what I'm saying, put your hands up like a concert. But when you put one hand down, that makes a five. If you don't rate this podcast 5 stars, your third eye will never open. So I need you to go on all podcast platforms to rate us 5 stars where available. Apple Podcasts, what I'm saying, Spotify. What I'm saying? I need to go to all these platforms and rate it 5 stars right now. Enlighten yourself. Enlighten yourself. Reach a higher plane of existence and rate No Cooldown Podcast 5 stars or else. Y'all have a great night. This has been episode 57 of No Cooldown Podcast. And with that being said, we are out of there. And we're good.
All right, you guys on the
Oh,
stream
man.
side, thank you guys for kicking it with us. We appreciate it. We do these podcasts every Thursday, about around this time. So make sure you guys follow up on the Twitter. If you don't, for more information, we also have a YouTube. So make sure you follow up on that. But
Follow it. Follow it. The
appreciate you
whole tip's
guys.
coming back to get your ass. Follow it.
Facts though,
Follow.
fact. You don't want that. I promise you, you don't want that. I want the best for you guys. Who? Let me see. Who am I gonna throw this bad boy to? I don't think anybody from Growth is live right now.
Not to my knowledge. I seen a couple people on. I seen Nick Tanner on. I seen a few people on from my mentions.
Yeah, Nick is live.
A
We're gonna throw it
30-point
to.
differential,
We're gonna throw it to
32
Tyga
point differential
actually.
between them and
Oh,
second
yeah,
place
she
team, a little Aggie.
But
GG's.
appreciate you
to
guys
every-
for kicking it with us. But I might go live tomorrow. We're gonna see if I can get a live going. If not, it is what it is. But definitely live Monday. You already know Needs' stream schedule. Tripp live whenever he's done being a
Live.
hoe. Yeah,
Live.
you know?
Live.
Make sure you go check out his. Make sure you go check out his videos, bro. So y'all can be like, damn, this man's really good at this, and we can both be like, right,
Thanks.
right. But we're gonna
Thanks.
throw it. We're gonna throw it to Tiger, man. Playing Apex. Lord bless her soul.
Oh,
I could not do that anymore.
For yourselves.
Yeah, if you're playing Apex, we're praying for you. But catch you guys next time.